Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Tuesday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well this season. Got a very quick word for you. Tap in. Guys, this is definitely my last recording for today. I'm almost home. But one of you guys sent me, sis, if you want to comment, that's completely up to you. I never call you guys this name, even when you tell me it's okay. But someone sent me a link to Pastor R.C. Blake's video on Soulmates last night. Since I actually watched it, I watched this morning when I was working out, actually. So I saw it this morning when I was working out. It was absolutely amazing. You wanted to know my thoughts on if soulmate exists, among some other things. First, yes, absolutely, I believe in soulmates. Here's the thing. This is my opinion, right? Everybody don't believe in soulmates. I believe in soulmates. I believe that you will not be able to identify your soulmate until you are in purpose, until you've answered the call, until you are in proper alignment with God's will for your life. Anything prior to that is just chemistry. It's just people that we're trying to make them our soulmates because of what we think we know. Until you answer the call in whichever way God calls you, right? You don't even know what your soul needs. You don't know what your soul, you're not even tapped in that soul level yet. You're just doing your own thing. So we got chemistry, we like people, maybe the sex is good, maybe the chemistry is good, all this other nonsense. And so we tend to want to put these labels like, oh, this is my soulmate. But you're not even tapped in on that soul level yet. So you don't even know what your soul needs. So it's like once you answer the call and once you start walking in alignment with God and you're tapped into your purpose and your calling, it's like God awakens something in you. He awakens something in you. And then he awakens a desire. And it's almost like that desire is one you never even knew existed. Because you weren't seeking. You weren't seeking that desire because you never knew it existed. Your soul was asleep, basically, seems like. And so it's like either God is going to give you a glimpse of the type of man or woman that he's going to bring to you, what you're going to need, how it's going to fit into however he uses you and call you. Again, it's not always church, just whatever. And then it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense. Or he may introduce you to that person right away. Who knows? I guess maybe it just depends on how he's going to use you guys together and merge purposes and things like that. When you meet your soulmate, when your soul is awakened, when you meet your soulmate, it is a feeling as if you just belong there. You can't explain it in words. You just belong there. It's like a piece of the puzzle that just fits. It's safe. It's, guys, I know y'all are so sick of my phone. I just got home, so I didn't turn off the notifications, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to do better. Please forgive me. But it's like your soul longs, and it's crazy because, again, you don't even know that feeling even exists, right? And then all of a sudden your soul starts to long for a person. And then when you meet, it's just like, it connects, it fits, it all makes sense. And then when you start looking at the life paths, then they're without a doubt, with the life path, it's in alignment. It has to be in alignment with God's will for your life. There is just, in my opinion, there's no way in the world God is going to bring soulmates together and your purposes in life is complete opposites, meaning they don't even support yours, or they're trying to pull you from yours and stuff like that. That is just not going to work. That makes no sense. So as I stated in the video on yesterday, this is why I had to turn those 2 engagements down. Again, great guys, but they just did not fit into my purpose. For example, I'll just give you guys a quick example. One of them was very, God, just, never mind. Okay, so the way God uses me, right? God uses me in a number of ways, but overall, it's serving people. It's helping people. So many a times that includes men, right? As you guys saw Mr. Steve, God bless his soul, who's now in heaven. If the man in my life is like, let's just say he's extremely jealous, or he's just, there's always an issue with men, right? How in the world can this man fit into my life, or me fit into his life? Like if I can't co-sign however God uses him, right? How in the world is that going to work? So if I know that I heard from God to step into help somebody or bless somebody or just pour into them in a certain kind of way, and there's always an issue because of your own insecurities or jealousy or whatever the case may be, you're pulling me away from purpose. That's not a soulmate. Your soulmate actually gets behind, they get it. So it's like God connects. Okay, so in replacement of that, God would send me, just making an example here, a man who's also a server. So he gets it. So if God calls me to do something, he sees it the way that I see it. However, as a man, right, because men are more logical, women are more emotional, some, where he can clean it up and polish it from a logical standpoint, but he's not changing the mission. And I'll give you an example of that. All right, perfect example. With Mr. Steve, God, I miss Mr. Steve. With Mr. Steve, I just knew God said that I needed to put shelter over his head until God called him home. I just couldn't let him go back to the woods, right? Because God needed more time. All right, so with that being said, the room that I initially got for Mr. Steve, that room was a very nice room, right? Not like a 4 or 5 star hotel, but it all things considered, coming from the woods, it was a very, very nice room where excuse me, the gentleman would see it as, all right, God says put shelter over his head, but that don't mean he living like a king, right? That just means a shelter. So the room needs to be $200 less per week, right? But it's the emotional side of you as a woman who want to make sure he got this comfy type of bed and this certain type of pillow and this and goose down feathers. You better if his mattress feels like a box, he's still got a roof over his head. So you see, he's not changing the purpose, if you will, or the call, but he'll get behind it and support it. But as a man, because men see things differently, then he makes it more logical. But if he's saying, no, we're not about to be helping any homeless man. He's a grown man. He can get up and he can, which is true. I get that side too. But that's not what I heard from God. Not when it came to Steve. Certain people, yeah, but not when it came to Steve, Mr. Steve. So you see, they have to fit into your purpose. There is just no way God is going to bring you somebody who just don't understand your purpose and pulling you from it. They may need to get in and help you polish it, right? You come together and help you clean it up and et cetera, but not pull you from it. And that was an issue, with, so I can't go against what God says, especially because I know when I hear from God. So when you do meet this person, it's a you just belong. It just fits. Doesn't mean it's perfect. It fits. You feel safe. It feels peaceful. You just and I agree with Pastor. It's not like that crazy physical attraction. Granted, you acknowledge that the person is very attractive. Like, right, you know it. It's like, well, she's very beautiful, or he's very handsome. But it's not that crazy fleshly attraction that maybe you got when you were just all in your flesh and just being foolish. It's a soul connection. It's a spiritual connection. And even though the person may be very attractive, there's just something that's blocking it there, where it's like God is not going to let you get too crazy in your head about it. Because if you get too crazy in your head, in your flesh, you're going to miss the whole point. It's spiritual. It's a spiritual connection. Anytime you meet people, and this can be, soulmates that comes in friends, or, I also like to call them soul tribes, right? Which that's different from soulmates, maybe. I don't know, but whatever. When you meet soul tribes or your soulmates, it's I lost my train of thought there. I don't know, but anyway, it's very calming. It's very soothing, and God just has to really keep it to the level where it doesn't get too fleshly involved. So I think that's God just strategically setting it up where you're attractive, but we're not going to be swinging off chandeliers on the first night. That type of thing. Where that came from, I don't even know, right? But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful that nothing else can measure up. It's so beautiful that you can meet 50,000 people who you may have like some type of physical attraction to, but it can't even compare. This is why it's so important to wait on your soulmate. This is why it's so important not to take the first thing smoking just because whatever reason. Because it's like if you mess around and marry the wrong person, let's just say God haven't really awakened you in your full purpose yet. You mess around and marry the wrong person, and all of a sudden God starts to work on you, and you start to get awakened in certain areas, you're going to realize that you married the wrong person. You married the wrong person. And now you're miserable. Now you're making him miserable. Right? So it's so important just to stay connected spiritually. Allow God to continue to help you evolve, and just keep walking towards your purpose and your calling. And at a certain time, God knows you're going to need it. He has to send it, right? He got to send you help. So it'll find you. It'll find you, but it won't find you until you are fully awakened and knowing how God wants to use you, and you're tapped into your purpose and your calling. And that don't even mean you have to be always in your purpose in its entirety, meaning like you feel like you're at a certain level of evolving. Just knowing how God is going to use you, just knowing that he's taking you this direction, right? Once he opens your mind up to how he's going to use you, he's going to give you some type of download, some type of revelation about the type of man or woman that he's going to send into your life. And it's going to be the complete opposite of what you typically would have chose on your own accord. And then you're going to question your own sanity, like, how in the world I even entertained that fool, right? In the past. How did I even give you the time of day, right? How did I... Girl, what was you thinking? So that's my thought, sis. Yes, I do believe soulmates exist, but I think you got to know who you are within God first, because we be choosing wrong, honey. Let me just tell you, you couldn't tell me. I would have shouted from the mountaintops. I knew who my soulmate was, honey. I knew who my soulmate was years ago, honey. all loud and wrong. Loud and wrong. Loud and wrong. We don't be knowing nothing. We think we know everything. We don't know nothing until you answer that call. You're going to realize you didn't know nothing. You didn't know your head from your feet. I got to go in the house, guys. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.